What's up? Sorry, I had to do that. What's up, Spirit of the Trees? Julissa, Wendy, Be a Stone. How's everyone doing? Angel, Delea. Happy Monday, Be a Saint. Hi, all from California. Beth, what's up? Spirit of the Trees says you are literally my top 3 live stream. That is super awesome. So, Julissa has said the same thing as well. That's super awesome. Thank you, guys. Or ladies, I should say. You guys are awesome. My volume is off. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. It shouldn't be. Can you guys hear me? It's showing on my end. Can you guys hear me? Because Wendy says the volume is off, but it's showing on my end that my volume's working fine. Be is saying you get to watch live because you have the week off. Thank you, Aaron. Angel and Julissa, you all say you hear me? Thank you. Mistress Meg, what is up? Bia says I hear you. Mistress Meg says it's fine. Thank you, Delaire, for catching me on the replay. Beth, the same volume good here in Winnipeg. So did any of you guys do anything exciting? I know it's a Monday, but I had a busy Monday as usual at work. Had a little bit of craziness, but not too much. Mistress Meg, thank you for the super sticker. Hearts for Mistress Meg. Thank you. You're awesome. Julius is saying just some gardening, making a late dinner now. Cool. That's good for a Monday. Guys, I wanted to start off with if you guys are a fan, hold on here. If you guys are a fan of the Evil Dead trilogy, or, well, actually, there's 4 movies. It is on, let me see if I can pull it up. They have all the movies, including, and if you have Max, they have all the movies, including the newest one, Evil Dead Rise. So if you guys are a huge fan of Evil Dead, go check that out because they have all the movies. And it even has the, I guess, the reimagining one by Fede Alvarez, which I thought was pretty good because I was actually more of a fan of that one before I was of the original. So if you guys want to revisit the Evil Dead or have not seen Evil Dead Rise and you have Max, go ahead and do so. Jump on. I thought that was kind of cool that they had all of them on there. Delea saying Tubi has some good ones too. I've gone on there too. That's another one I use, but I don't go on to that one too often. But I did check it out the other day to see what was on there. Thank you, Julissa, saying my husband and son are watching the latest one now. I chose to watch your stream. Thank you. I appreciate that, Julissa. But if you have Max, don't miss out and check it out when you have a chance. I know I rhymed right there. And also, too, for anyone that does not know, I probably should do this at the end, but I will probably reshare it at the end. I also created a Grayson Report Facebook page. Let me see if I can pull it up. So if y'all like to join, it's not subscribe, but it's join. Just search Grayson Report on Facebook because I know a few of you on my last stream were saying that you use Facebook more, so I decided to create a group. I will be posting. Well, I'll post updates. You guys can, if you have a spooky story or something you want to share, you can do that too. Want to say comment about how you like the stream or didn't like the stream, you can comment there. Or if you find a cool video you want to share with me or a story, you could share it there too. And again, all you have to do is search Grayson Report on Facebook. I know some of you already are on there. I have Discord too, Wendy, so don't worry. If you want Discord, I also have, but I don't have Discord signed in on my computer. But it is on my link tree. So if you guys want to join my Discord as well, I do have one. The link is located in my link tree, and I did drop the link in the chat. Rochelle, what's up? I was just telling everybody that I have a Grayson Report Facebook page, so if you would like to join. Logical Spock, what is up? Because I know some people don't have Discord. I know some people use Facebook more than Instagram, so decided to. Sabrina! Some people prefer Facebook, so I created a group, guys, so head over there. You just have to search Grayson Report. It should pop up because there's nothing else that I hope is not named Grayson. Ozzy Walks! And I do have a Discord for people who prefer Discord. I did drop, I can show it actually. That is the link to my Discord, to my link tree that has my Discord link on it if you guys would like to join that as well. Because I know some people have Discord, some people don't. And I'll probably share that again toward the end when more people trickle in. Oh, that's cool, Ozzy. I'm gonna have to look for you. For sure. So what I got planned for you guys is a ghost in the news and also an article about the creepiest real life haunted houses. It lists some cool houses on there that I had forgotten about, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And we'll start off. Matthew, what is up? Oh, guys, when I'm done with the stream, I'll accept all your wanting to joins. So don't worry, you guys will be accepted. Just when I get off the stream here, I'll do it. Okay, we're gonna start off with this little article of ghosts in the news where I literally Google ghost in the news to see what pops up. When I first started doing this, I actually really didn't think anything was gonna pop up, but believe it or not, stuff does pop up. This one is from FMX 94.5. I believe it's a radio station somewhere. Hold on, I hope you guys don't hear this, because I can't hear any of the ads. There. It's saying the best evidence of a ghost ever caught on Lubbock Ring camera. This is it's a bit of an old article, but I thought it was still kind of interesting to show. It was published August 19th, 2022, but still something cool to show. Starts off, okay, I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for this, but I don't have it. I was sent this video by a friend, the same friend who helped me with the How to Survive the Oho story. All right. The start of the video may be the best ghost video I've ever seen. The video was captured by a Ring camera on a windy day. The camera obviously sensed some motion and began filming. What you see in the video will haunt you. You'll watch it over and over. You will show it to your friends. You will say, hey, wait a minute. Am I overseeing it? We constantly have ghost shows on TV and they constantly find nothing. Those shows are a bunch of people saying, what was that? And you never really see or hear what they hear. In the video, you will see something. The ghost probably doesn't mean any harm. It may have just been dropping by to sell some steak knives. All right. Why would they be dropping by to sell steak knives? Okay. Or to see if the homeowner wants their lawn mowed, but you pretty clearly will see a phantom image come toward the door, then cut a sharp left, possibly after seeing a no soliciting, beware of the dog, or Ghostbusters live here sign. I've shown this video around and no one can explain it. We can't quite figure out what the ghost is carrying either. Keep in mind that all the action happens in about the first 8 seconds, but the rest of the video has some very creepy sounds. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go to the beginning because I started watching it a little bit. It's super windy. Well, yeah, it's detecting the tree. Yes, the weird sounds is the wind. That's the wind. It's kind of freaky sounding. Or car. Car with a modified muffler. I guess what you see, I'm gonna play the beginning because like you do see something again. You do see something like right here moving. But that's about it. So what do you guys think of this one? I think it's just the wind that caused it to. Oh, Ozzy walks. I'll change that. Let me go in there. For next stream, Ozzy, for sure I'll have it changed. Nerd report. What's up? What's up, Zero? Be a scene wind blowing a lawn chair. Zero's like nothing. Ozzy saying I think it's a bit of a stretch for that one. Maybe blowing dirt or sand. I think it has something to do with, you know how with this, I'm gonna look this up because now because I'm seeing more and more of it. I'm gonna look this up. They said something to do with like how the security cameras upload your image to the cloud or with something. It might create. I'm gonna look this up for sure for my next stream. But you see movement at the beginning, like barely, but I don't think it's a ghost. And then obviously it's like super windy. My cameras go off if the wind blows like a branch. And look at how much that branch is moving on that tree. So I feel like, and then there were like the sounds. Yeah, it's a car. It's the wind. Yeah, Aaron Cooper says looks like the video compression thing. That's what I was thinking. It's just how the video uploaded to wherever this. Well, it says Ring, so whatever the Ring uploads to, because I don't have a Ring camera. But what do you guys think? Is it just the wind, or this guy just wanted to plop it up just to say, "Hey guys, this is a ghost." Sabrina saying I'm torn between a mountain lion or the wind moving a piece of furniture. That's my. I mean, that sound was cool. Don't get me wrong. Nerd report. I know what you're saying. But they're like, you won't believe the sounds you hear. And I'm like, yeah, a car muffler? The wind? Bernadette, what's up? Aaron said it sounded like my neighbor's car. Ozzy saying chupacabra or a car muffler. Sounded like like one of those rice rockets as we call it here. Julius is saying it's funny what people post. Yeah, and this is like a radio station site in Texas. So that's crazy. That's like super crazy that they just post stuff too. I mean, maybe they just want the traffic to their site, which I don't blame them, some just to get some attention to their site, but sometimes it could be the wrong attention. Delea say no, it's a Chuka car muffler. Ozzy saying slow news day there in Texas that day. Yes. Because they were showing a Ring camera on a windy day. Because my cameras go off if something moves like a branch or something, and it goes off continuously because the branch is there. So that's the first thing I noticed right off. I'm like, it's windy. That dismisses it right from the beginning. But hey, it was a cool article to read. I'll give them that. And a very windy day in Lubbock, Texas. That's a bit too windy. Sabrina saying maybe a wild boar. They were like, I got it from my friend. And everyone's asking, like, they're watching it over and over again. Aaron saying not a boar, I've heard. Zero is like nothing going on over there. There's no action like Kelly car chases. I know we're crazy for car chases. In fact, the area that I lived in had a shootout and two people found murdered all in the same week. And this is like a quiet, it's supposed to be a pretty good neighborhood. It's crazy. I know the sheriff's department was probably like, oh, so excited because nothing. It's weird because always when something happens, you see every cruiser at that area because nothing really happens here. So it's kind of hilarious. They probably got all excited. But it's still weird to me because I've never had anything like that ever. I mean, you would get the theft. You would get. I mean, we've had car chases end here. One there was one that ended here. Um, that had a child in the car. Zero's like, yep, endless action here, definitely. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Julius is like, oh no, crime is getting bad everywhere. Yes, it is. I think it's the sign of the times. Everyone's getting desperate because everything's going up in price. Too. I think that's part of the partly of it. All right, guys, I got a gnat in here again. They've been following me all day, even at work. They must have followed me from work. We are going to go into the 27 creepy real life haunted houses or house stories ever. I don't like the title of this article for some odd reason, but Teresa, what is up? Bernadette saying hi to Gary and Larry. D Nice, what is up? Right, this article is on House Beautiful, written by Hadley Middlestone, published on June 22nd. It's a recent article. It says proceed with caution. I just don't like the title for some odd reason. Just doesn't read right. Sure, thrillers and horror movies are reliable fun for a good old fashioned jump scare, but there's really nothing quite as bone chilling as real haunted house stories. If you're not convinced, we've got plenty of proof in the collection of true stories about real life haunted houses ahead. From unsuspecting farmhouses in the Midwest to sprawling Gilded Age East Coast mansions to classic storybook cottages in Hollywood and even bungalows in tropical Honolulu, we scored the country for the most compelling tales of domestic paranormal activity. But take heed, reading about these scary haunted houses stories in the dark or by yourself is likely to keep you up all night. as was the case for me, but the fascinating backstories are well worth the thrill. Up for the challenge? Without further ado, we invite you to read about the following 27 scariest real life haunted house stories from the creepiest places around the country. In case you're really fearless and ready to get freaky, you can book a stay at most of these places and greet the ghost yourself. And good news! Come spooky season, we'll be updating this list regularly with new real life haunted house editions, so be sure to check back for more. I sure will. The first one is the Amityville Horror House in Amityville, New York. This Dutch colonial sitting pretty on an ocean avenue in Long Island, New York, is perhaps the country's and world's most famous real haunted house. Haunted or not, the Amityville house has certainly witnessed plenty of horrors. On November 13th, 1974, Louise and Ronald DeFeo Sr. and four of their children were killed inside the home. Their eldest daughter went unharmed, as did their eldest son, Ronald DeFeo Jr., and he was ultimately charged with the murders, though he never confessed to the horrific crime. A year after the brutal murders, the Lutz family moved into the house, which still housed much of the original furniture and decor from its previous tenant. Then, just 28 days after moving in with their three young children, the Lutzes fled the house in a panic. Not long after, they worked with author Jay Anson on the best-selling book turned hit movie, The Amityville Horror, which tells the dramatic and controversial tale of the demonic and unseen forces that drove them out. The Lutz story is widely regarded as a hoax, but plenty of people still vehemently believe it's haunted, and it was haunted even before the DeFeo family lived and died in it. I've heard that it's not haunted because I've read articles where the actual people living in the house say they haven't experienced anything. And Matthew pointed out that the windows aren't like the movie. They're squared. They don't look like eyes, Matthew. Tyrana, how's it going? Bernadette saying, I think that's the house the owners won't let anyone do any investigations at. Zero was like, oh yes, this is no joke. This is the real evil home. I will pass, never will go there. Sabrina does not believe in the Amityville story. I've heard both people saying, I've read an article where it was a while ago, like I was saying, that the owners that had owned the house at the time, I don't know if it's still the same owners, that they didn't experience anything in the house. Ozzy has also heard that it wasn't haunted. Anne is saying maybe it got cleared. Maybe. And then Aaron's saying they changed the windows. That's for sure. But usually, if a house is haunted and you start doing construction, it rattles the spirits. Tyrannus say I wouldn't go there. Spring Storm, what is up? I also heard like that town is like really they don't like people, like outsiders. Aaron saying I heard they confessed to faking the story. Maybe. But even so, it's a very good story. Like I like the movie. I don't know about you guys. It was a very Rochelle saying I get the energy vibe that it is still haunted. So maybe it is, and they're just saying that it's not so they don't get the publicity. You know what I mean? Because some people just want to live peacefully in their haunted house. And they don't want like because that neighborhood looks like it's one of those neighborhoods where it's quiet, it's quaint. Like they don't want people coming there and making ruckus and stuff like that. So I get it. Number 2, Ammons House in Gary, Indiana, which is not, it's not there anymore. It was torn down. In 2011, Latoya Ammons moved into a small single-story home in Gary, Indiana with her mother and her 3 young children. Only a few short months later, after reportedly experiencing the worst residential demon infestation since the Amityville Horror, Ammons brought her family to the emergency room in an attempt to help free them of demonic possession. After extensive evaluations by police, members of the local church, hospital staff, and the Department of Child Protective Services, the witnesses were torn. Half of them believed the house was infested by spirits and demons and that the family was genuinely possessed by something paranormal, while the other half blamed psychological issues. Just like the best-selling book about the Amityville House turned into a national sensation, this modern instance of demonic possession went viral. The good news is that the Ammons family was able to find peace when they moved to Indianapolis, but the story and the house itself were still getting tons of attention. Unsurprisingly, Ghost Adventure host and self-proclaimed paranormal investigator Zach Bagans bought the property from Ammons' landlord in 2014 to shoot sensationalized documentary footage inside. Even though Bagans proceeded to tear it down, the Ammons house is about to get even more press. Oscar nominee Lee Daniels is directing a film based on the story, The Deliverance. It's set to stream on Netflix in 2024 and will feature Stranger Things star Caleb McLaughlin. I would watch that. Bernadette was like, when I said I just want to leave peacefully in my house. You never know. You know what I mean? Teresa's saying I love the original movie of the Amityville. The remake is okay. Zero Ortiz is saying, why did DeFeo say it's a possessed home? Is he scared of something there? I'm wondering, unless it was, you know how some people do something and they want to kind of get, I mean, he still got convicted, so it doesn't matter, but you say stuff, they're not going to believe you anyways if you say that I was possessed. But maybe he made up that story to try to get out of it. Matthew saying, even Amityville House, if you film on the sidewalk on the other side of the street, people would come up to you and say crap to you being there. Rochelle wants to offer her Chinese food for any ghost as an offering, as a peace offering. I like that one, Rochelle. Zero T's is saying the actress even said strange things were happening, then people started getting sick. Possibility. Like I've never read. I should go in there and read an article about what the people have said that were on the set of Amityville. I know, like Poltergeist. I know about that one and what things had happened on that set, but I never really actually delved into the Amityville set. That would be kind of cool, actually. Number 3, the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Has anyone been to any of these places? I have never been to the Winchester House, but would love to one day. In 1886, an eccentric widow left her home in Connecticut for California's rural Santa Clara Valley to start a new life after the tragic loss of several family members. She wasn't the average widow. She was Sarah Winchester, the millionaire whose fortune was derived from the gun that won the West, an increasingly controversial I can't read today. An increasingly controversial truth. Once in the Bay Area during the height of spiritualism and well before the 19th Amendment, Winchester managed her own finances and acted on a passion for architecture and design by overseeing the never ending construction project of a rambling mansion in San Jose. She named the rambling property Yonda Villa, which she interpreted as the house on flat land, but today it's better known as the Winchester Mystery House. Her reclusive lifestyle, along with the restrictive gender norms of the era and the blood money she was associated with, caused neighbors and the local press to speculate the legend quickly began to swirl about the mysterious woman and her bewildering house. Though it was a modern marvel at the time, with indoor plumbing, multiple elevators, a hot shower, and central heating, the mansion was appraised as having no value due to the doors that opened to nothing but thin air, staircases that led straight into the ceiling, and its maze of labyrinthine hallways. Legend began swirling, speculating that Winchester's bizarre architectural choices were an attempt to rid the home of unwelcome spirits of the dead killed by the Winchester rifle, but defenders swear she didn't have a superstitious bone in her body. Regardless, it's possible that Winchester herself still haunts the halls of the house turned museum today. Sabrina saying, I read it was an insurance scam. They were on the verge of divorce. Huh. Aaron says Rose Red was about the Winchester mansion. Julius is saying, I've been to the Winchester Mystery House. It's about 18 miles from my home. It was cool, but not scary at all. I didn't think it would be scary, but it'd just be cool to see because of what I've heard about, like how the stairs go to doorways that lead to nothing. Spring Storm saying the Winchester house looks gorgeous. Poltergeist Zero saying Poltergeist guys used the real skeletons in the pool. Yes, that's what I read. That's crazy. I'll have to check out that Red Rose, Matthew. Wendy actually thinks the remake was better. I liked them both. Spring Storm saying, I thought Rose Red was an adaptation of House on Haunted Hill. I am not sure because I never heard of it. I'll have to check it out. Sabrina saying they would have lost money if they sold the house, but weren't they there only for like 30 days or something like that? So that kind of makes sense. Zero has been to the Winchester house. It's an endless home still in construction. Door leads to nowhere. Matthew says, find that bull with the many weapons been made for centuries. Why she was tagged makes little sense. Targeted makes it. That's true. Ozzy saying it's a beautiful looking house. It is. It's a beautiful looking house. Sabrina saying Winchester would be cool to see. I don't think it's haunted. I don't think it's haunted either. All right, the next one. Number 4, the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri. That's a mansion? I get, you know what? That looks super small in the picture, but I bet you if you're there, it's like huge. Starting strong with a very scary house, the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, which is known to be one of the most haunted places in America due to its tragic history and links to a wealthy beer baron. Adam Johann Lemp, a German immigrant, was the first person to produce and sell large style beer in the US. He stored the barrels in an underground cave system beneath the city to keep them cool pre modern refrigeration. It was successful, but his son, William Lemp, is the one who really brought it to the next level. In the 1860s, William Lemp wanted to live closer to the industrial plant and start a family with his wife, Julia. So they built the boating home in the historic Benton Park neighborhood right over the cave system. We smell a haunting. Everything seems to take a turn for the worse in the new millennium. And William Lemp died by S in 1904 after his favorite of five sons, Frederick, died tragically due to the complications of tuberculosis. A few years later, his wife also died of cancer in the house. In 1920, the youngest daughter, Elsa Lemp, mysteriously died in her home, not the Lemp mansion. Then, in 1922, after running the company for years and seeing it flounder during the Prohibition era, William Lemp Jr. est himself in the same room William Sr. died in. One of William Jr.'s brothers, Charles Lemp, lived in the home from the 30s until 1949 when he. What? This is crazy. I wonder if something like caused them. He shot his own dog in the basement of the home before dying by S in his room. That same year, the youngest surviving Lemp child, Edwin, sold the house and transformed it into a boarding house, where reports of hauntings began. According to Destination America, witnesses have experienced burning sensations, slamming doors, disembodied moaning, and crying, amongst other things. Today, the Lemp Mansion is a restaurant and inn that also holds events including weddings, murder mystery dinners, and even ghost hunting experiences. That house has a very dark history. Or mansion, I should say. It's not a house, it's a mansion. Matthew saying ghost hunters have been there years ago. Zero T's wants to go to the Hearst Castle. I've been there. It's a pretty cool place. What's that guy? What's that actor that does The Talking Dead? He's married to someone from his he's married to, hold on. What's his name? I know her. I remember her name, but I can't remember his. Chris Hardwick. He's married to Lydia Hearst, who is, hold on, let me read so I can say this right. Who is the great granddaughter of the newspaper publisher and politician William Randolph Hearst and the daughter of the author and actress Patty Hearst. Which, but it doesn't say like her, if she's like the fifth in line to the hotel or to the Hearst Castle, or, but she's a descendant of the Hearst family. Thank you. Sabrina says Patty Hearst's daughter. Zero saying, I believe a woman designed the Hearst Castle. It's so well built and beautiful. It is. I went when I think I was 12 or 11, somewhere around there when I went last. Number 5, Kasha House of Kamuki in Honolulu, Hawaii. The Kasha House of Kamuki in Honolulu, Hawaii has been shrouded in mystery for decades. Its first bad press mentioned hit the Honolulu Star just months after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. December 7th, 1941. According to the article, police responded to a call from a woman shouting, She's trying to kill my. When they arrived, they found a young Hawaiian boy, his 3 sisters, and his mother all shrieking and being tossed around by nothing. About 30 years later, other occupants of the same home, or one a block away from the original spooky house, reported similar attacks by an unseen force, which the responding officers corroborated. The 2 most common theories surrounding the source of these reported attacks are a demonic shape-shifting creature of Japanese folkloric origins known as the Kasha, and the angry spirit of a corpse buried in the backyard. Though it has since been torn down and replaced by condos, the dark energy still lingers, according to local and residents. Yeah, it's probably still there, even though you tear the house down, the land. I have never heard of this one. I thought this one was kind of interesting. Have any of you guys heard of the Kasha House? No, B, I'm live in Hawaii. That is spooky, Aaron. It's like a quaint little house when it was there. But I wouldn't want to live in the condos, but I bet you they don't tell them that what was there before for the people living there. That's crazy if they don't tell them. They'll be like, yeah, there's some strange things happening. And then people start talking. Sabrina saying, never heard of it. Ozzy hasn't heard of it. I kind of want to delve into that one. That story's kind of interesting. Number 6, 1000 Lombard Street in San Francisco, California. Socialite, journalist, and famed party host Patricia Montandon moved into an apartment on San Francisco's famous Crooked Block, Lombardy Street, in 1960. She lived happily in her Russian Hill abode for 8 years until things began to go awry, following an astrology themed party she hosted in the apartment. In her memoir, The Intruders, Montandon attributes a series of hauntings that accumulated in a corporal tragedy to the bizarre behavior of a disgruntled tarot card reader who may have cursed the apartment the night of that fateful party. From eerie laughter and faint music seemingly coming from within the apartment on repeat, to constant rushes of cold wind, despite locked doors and windows and strange disembodied footsteps, the paranormal events were stacking up quickly. But Montanon was also the victim of physical crimes following the party, including a robbery, harassment, possibly arson, and more after a tragic fire at the apartment and the premature passing of 3 of her close friends, all of whom had separately lived in the apartment between 1968 and 1969. Montadon set off on her own investigation to uncover the root of the apparent curse of 1000 Lombard Street. I have heard of that one. But that place does not even look haunted at all. How am I on replay? This is weird. The ghosts don't want me talking. I swear I did not click on anything. That is weird. Now you guys want me. I'm going to look. How is that? Like, it's still, seriously, I have not clicked on anything. Oh, wait a minute. I'm clicking on the wrong video. Oh, no. That's weird because on me, it's still showing. Like literally, it's still showing. Hold on. Yeah, it's still showing the right thing. So something's that's weird. The ghosts don't want me to talk about these haunted houses. Yeah, you are, Anne. I see your comment. Am I current? Julius is saying Lombard is such a beautiful street. Wendy's saying when people pass away in their homes, spirits linger. It's legit. I can't read today, guys. Sorry. Aaron's like, they found you, run. I know I should, you know? That is weird. I have weird things happen to me on my stream. And like my computer's like running pretty good too. That's why this is weird. It's actually running good. Well, to continue, number 7, Ackley House in Nyack, New York. Nicknamed Ackley House after its one-time occupants, the Ackley family, this classic Queen Anne sits on the Hudson River across from Sleepy Hollow, New York. The many ghosts who roam the halls of one Lavetta place were nothing but friendly, though they were active enough to inspire the matriarch Helen Ackley to write a national article about them in Reader's Digest. The article gained enough momentum that the house became a stop on local ghost tours, which ended up having some not so great ramifications when it came time to sell the home in the late 1980s. The Ackleys found themselves entangled in a legal battle over whether or not they should have disclosed the haunted nature of the house to the Sombosky family, and a landmark legal decision now referred to as the Ghostbusters ruling. Ackley House was deemed haunted by the New York Supreme Court, and the buyers were able to pull out of the sale while also getting half of their down payment back. One Lavetta place has since been home to several celebrities, including musician Ingrid Michaelson. I don't care if it's haunted or not, that's a beautiful house. Nyack. Thank you, Matthew. B is asking, do the aliens have her under their control? Maybe. That is a beautiful house. I don't care if it's haunted or not. But I guess the New York Supreme Court deemed this house haunted. That's crazy. Number 8, the Chop Chop House in Boise, Idaho. This house looks doesn't well, I mean, yeah, this one does look haunted. Never mind. The house at 805 West Linden Street in Boise, Idaho is hard to miss. Covered in a layer soot with windows broken and boarded up and trash strewn about the yard. The 2-story, 2,728 square foot craftsman style home looks like an abandoned horror movie set. The true story, however, is much scarier. Locals refer to it as the Boise Murder House, or even more eyebrow raising, the Chop Chop House, which is a Gilb reference to the gruesome homicide that took place there more than 3 decades ago. According to many who've lived in the neighborhood or even rented out a room in the house itself, the basement in particular exudes some haunted energy. There have been reports of shadowy figures appearing and disappearing out of nowhere, strange liquid oozing down the walls, and more. But yeah, I don't know about this house. I don't think I would want to go. Would you guys want to go into this house? I don't think I would go in this house. Tammy! I have no idea, be it, because on my end it's fine. It's just a little delayed as always, but like, yeah, I'm still like on my screen it's showing like the house and everything. So I don't know what's going on. Ozzy will pass on that one. Julissa's like, no way. Aaron says it sounds icky. It does. Panda Bear is saying, nope. Bernadette will brave it. She's like, sure, why not? Delea's like, sounds like Sweeney Todd. Brandon, what's up? Number 9. The Grey Gardens in East Hampton, New York. Beautiful home. The Grand East Hampton estate, known as Grey Gardens, has a fascinating history with many ups and downs. The 4 acres of land the home now sits on is in the Georgica Beach section of East Hampton, one of the most expensive regions in the world, and it was purchased by a wealthy couple in 1895 before the home was built in the early 1900s. By 1913, it was sold to the president of a coal company whose wife, Anna Gilman Hill, imported ornate concrete walls from Spain to enclose the garden. The house was called Grey Gardens because of the color of the dunes, the cement garden walls, and the sea mist. Later, in 1923, the home was sold to Edith Bouvier Beale, the parental aunt of Jackie Onassis Kennedy and Lee Radziwill and her family. Radziwill. After a series of misfortune and financial losses, the home fell into disrepair and was overrun by cats and raccoons, and perhaps something else not of this realm. I wouldn't mind it being overran by cats. Partially because Big Eddie Beale and her daughter, Little Eddie Beale, couldn't afford to maintain the mansion on their own. The woman's story and star power was made famous in the 1975 documentary by Albert and David Maisley. Big Eddie held onto the property until her death in 1977, and her spirit is said to remain at Grey Gardens, watching over the house. Among the believers is author and journalist Sally Quinn, best known for her column in the Washington Post, who purchased the home from Little Eddie in 1979, and she swears that it's haunted. It doesn't look haunted, but then that doesn't look run down either. That must be like an older picture. Bernadette saying, "Oh, I saw that movie in Doc. I don't think it's haunted though." Ozzy's saying it's a resounding no for any house dubbed Chop Chop. For sure. Aaron Cooper saying it's a pretty house. It is a pretty house, but it might be unless they redid it, but according to the article, I don't know, it didn't like really delve into, it just said so Sally Quinn purchased it from Little Eddie in 1979. But then she could be claiming that it's haunted just to get the attention. Aaron saying it haunted by Jackie O's aunt. It's a possibility. Zero saying that's a big house. It's haunted. I know. We're only seeing like a portion of it. I'm sure it probably spans all the way around. Number 10, Mercer Williams House in Savannah, Georgia. Located across from one of Savannah, Georgia's most famous and pristine squares, Monterey Square in the City Historic District, the Mercer Williams House dates back to 1860. In the 70s, famed preservationist and antique dealer Jim Williams restored the home to its former glory after years of neglect. The the this Italianate revival played host to 3 untimely deaths, including that of 11-year-old Tommy Downs when he fell off the roof. In 1969. The 1981 fatal shooting of Danny Hansford by Williams himself, when he died in the same room as Hansford less than a year after being acquitted of Hansford's death in a fourth trial. If the story sounds familiar, it's probably because you recognize it from the best-selling book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Huh. Much like the rest of the city, the home was supposedly built right on top of unmarked graves. Rumors about the crime and ensuing ghost stories continue to swirl to this day. Yeah, it's like poltergeist. They're like, you removed the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies. Christy, what's up? Rochelle saying agreed, it's definitely haunted and especially get the weird vibes from it. Delea saying it's haunted. Zero saying nice house. Oh shoot, never mind, it's a crazy house. Ozzy was like back in the day when kids were allowed to climb up on roofs. I know what you mean. Number 11 is I can't read today, guys. Oh my god. I know the Vasilla Axe Murder House in Vasilla, Iowa. I'm probably saying it wrong. And I know this too because I've heard of this. On June 10th, 1912, Josiah and Sarah Moore were bludgeoned to death inside of their home in Vasilla, Iowa. Their 4 children and 2 friends who were spending the night were also killed, and to this day, the crime remains unsolved. Their home is considered one of the most haunted houses in the country, and guests are drawn to it. People even pay 400 plus to stay for one night. Tours have been cut short by children's voices, falling lamps, moving ladders, and flying objects, said the Vasilla Axe Murder House website. And in 2014, a paranormal investigator what stabbed himself after spending the night. Skeptics have left believers, adds the website, and it actually has a button to book now. So you guys, I'm curious. Hold on, let me see if I can. Hold on, we're gonna. I'm curious about this book now button. Hold on here. We're how much does it cost to stay? All right, we're on TripAdvisor because that's where it took me to. I wonder if you put in like what these. Well, we'll pick a date. Oh dang, um, we'll pick July 24th. All right, let's see what it comes up with. As I click off all the ads. Oh, it says contact accommodation for availability. Ah, never mind. I got excited. I just wanted to see how much it actually is to stay there, but it didn't show. Bia Stone says down the rabbit hole. Ozzy's like, no date. And Ozzy also says, don't open the doors to hell. Be careful with that book now button. Aaron says book a weekend. Matthew saying, I heard of Mercer, the channel that has Rose Red location was there years ago when they lived in Savannah, Georgia. Zero saying you're like me. I can't spell. I haven't slept, so I'm tired. I think that's what I am too. I'm tired and I can't see the screen. Wendy's like, not without you. So Wendy will stay at a haunted location if I'm staying there. Brandon is excited for Mad Monster, so am I. I cannot wait. Christy's saying, "Hey Lisa, creepy Savannah went to the cemetery there and saw the grave of Gracie. Cool." Aaron saying the Vasila murders were horrible. It sounds horrible. Tyranna saying it's haunted. Bernadette saying, well, the article Bernadette said 400 plus. Ozzy, I hope you feel better. Christy's like, it probably is. I'm pretty sure it is. Cause they gotta pay to keep the lights on. Number 12, Jean Harlow's house in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is one of the best destinations for haunted house hunting, and this Bavarian style home in Beverly Hills has a particularly gruesome history. In 1932, it was home to the iconic actress Jean Harlow and her abusive husband, Paul Byrne, who shot himself in the head while standing in front of the mirror. Their butler discovered him and called MGM instead of the police, so there were tons of rumors that it wasn't actually S. Many suspected Burns' ex girlfriend, a suspicion exasperated by her jumping off a boat to her D a couple days later. Jean moved out after her D, but D'd only a few years later at the age of 26. That is young. But wait, it gets creepier. In 1963, celebrity hairstylist Jay Sebring bought the home and lived there with his girlfriend Sharon Tate until she left him for Roman Polanski. They were still friends and remained so until both of them were murdered by Charles Manson's cult. Tate was the same age as Harlow when she passed. That is trippy. But back to when the couple lived in the Harlow house, Tate told several friends of creepy occurrences in the home and even mentioned it in interviews. For example, once when she was sleeping in the master bedroom alone, she saw a creepy little man. Her friends say she believed it to be Paul Byrne's ghost. She was so freaked out when she saw the alleged ghost that she ran out of the room and then saw a hanging, shadowy corpse with its throat slit in the hallway. There are also stories about two other people dying in the swimming pool over the years. No, I don't want to be in that house. Would you guys stay a night in that house? Nikki, how's it going? Rest in peace, Sharon Tate. That was way too young. She had a whole life ahead of her. Ossie's like saying no. I don't think after reading that story, I don't think I want to go to that house. It's a beautiful house though, but I don't think I would. I don't think no. I don't want to see some little men walking around or some shadowy figure hanging from the rafters. Rochelle says, I think I would stay the night in that house and do some research. That would be kind of cool, actually. Christy's like, I would. I would be so scared. Bernadette might actually skip this one. Ozzy would visit in the day, but not overnight. I would probably do the same thing. I'd visit during the day. I'd walk in the house during the day. But the real test is actually walking in it at night. Julissa saying rest in peace to Sharon Tate. I would skip it too. Aaron's like, nope. Be a stone, they're dead, can't hurt you. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know like what kind of energy is in that house. So I would probably want Carol, what's up? Good to see you. but I don't know. I may change my mind because it does have an interesting, creepy history, but I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Aaron saying, but the Manson family left a mark on the house. Definitely. Sabrina will stay the night. You and I care. How's it going? Carol says her daughter says hi. Well, hi back to your daughter. Brandon saying, isn't it by Laurel Canyon? I think so. I'm not sure where this one. Because there's also the other house. The one where Tate was actually, where she passed away in. Carol says, I would. I agree, Julia. So that house probably has like some thick, heavy energy in it. Number 13, this beautiful home is the S.K. Pierce Mansion mansion, that's not really a home, in Gardner, Massachusetts. Massachusetts has no shortage of haunted mansions. It seems, and the S.K. Pierce Victorian is one of the state's eeriest. The original occupant, Sylvester Pierce, had just started making his fortune in the future business when he built this home for himself, his son, and his wife, Susan. As a man about town, he hosted many notable people in his 7,000 square foot home throughout the years, including President Calvin Coolidge, Bette Davis, and Norman Rockwell. Only a week after moving into the home, Susan fell ill and passed away from a mysterious bacterial disease. A year later, he remarried Ellen, a woman 30 years his junior, and had two more children. Years later, when both Sylvester and Ellen had passed away, his sons embarked on a fiery feud about the property as well as the furniture company. But the Great Depression swept in and made their choice easier since the company basically went bankrupt. The youngest son, Edward, was given control of the home when he turned it into a boarding house. It became a hotspot for illicit activities, including the murders and sudden tragic deaths of several occupants. According to local lore, as a result of these violent ends, guests have reported every kind of haunting imaginable, from visions of apparitions to flying objects, disembodied sounds, pressure, temperature drops, and more. That's a beautiful house, though. Bray saying, gotta admit, that's a cool looking house. It is. Heather Salvador, I am live. Oh, you're in Massachusetts? Cool. Wendy's saying, here's the thing, all of these famous places rig the rooms to have an experience for booking and money. I'm pretty sure. Zero saying it looks creepy and dark. What did I say? Sadness and sorrow and death. Tyrana also saying it's a cool looking house. I actually like this house. It's a cool look. It's like a nice. I would live in that house if the spirits were friendly. Number 14, the Mud House Mansion in Fairfield, Ohio. Now that place looks haunted. Located in Fairfield County, Ohio, until recently, the Mud House Mansion had a bad reputation. Nobody can seem to agree on when it was built, but it dates back sometime between the 1840s and the 1900s. Unlike the other abandoned mansions on this list, you sadly can no longer visit it as the home was demolished in 2015. After not being occupied since the 30s. The last resident, at least legally speaking, was Lulu Hartman Mast, and the current owner of the property is her relative, Jeannie Mast. Because there's so little information about who lived here and when, and because abandoned places tend to ignite the dark side of the imagination, there are tons of legends around alleged atrocities occurring and consequent hauntings. The source don't seem to be very credible, though. The land is probably, there's probably got to be some. That sucks that it's still not there. But then, like, by this picture, it looks like it was run down already. Bray is saying, imagine how more beautiful that house would be if vines were growing up it. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful to begin with. Yes, it is. Brandon saying, do I think it's haunted? I don't know. That one I don't know. It's kind of a hit and miss because if you stay in these places, you're not going to always get an experience. But having a history like some of these places do, it has to have, it's got to be. Number 15, 455A Sackett Street in Brooklyn, New York. You never heard as much about haunted apartments as haunted houses, which is strange considering that apartments have much more turnover and therefore a higher likelihood of something or someone evil having lived there before you moved in. That was definitely the case with 455A Sackett Street in Brooklyn. One woman who grew up there writes about her firsthand experiences, including unexplained fires, seriously bad energy, family tragedies, personal suffering, and here's the kicker: the body of a child discovered in the wall after several suspicious sighting of a similar-looking shadow child in the mirror. Ooh. You could read her full account here as well as commenters who also live there and corroborate these claims. I'll definitely not be requesting an in-person viewing for this place. Private balcony or not, if this address ever pops back up in my Street Easy feed. Uh, I mean, it could be haunted. Matthew saying, I believe ghost hunters went to Peace Mansion, I think, or Pierce Mansion, I think, in season 3, Whispers and Voices episode. Cool. I used to watch them back then, but I don't remember. I only remember like a few. Carol saying, Bree, I'm sorry for not pronouncing your name correct. Sorry about that, Bree. Alright, number 16. Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona. The Hotel Monte Vista has numerous paranormal guests they can't get rid of. The hotel, which opened as the Community Hotel in 1927, named after the townspeople who helped raise the funds for its construction, has a history of underground opium dens, speakeasy, and gambling. Today, the hotel is known for the paranormal activity that haunts some of the rooms and halls. Guests, you can book here too. Guests who stayed in room 220 have experienced the TV changing channels on its own accord, and some have said they felt cold hands touching them in their sleep. There's also reportedly a phantom bellboy who knocks on the doors and announces room service, but when guests get to the door, no one's there. One of the most popular and possibly the most disturbing encounters is the sound of an infant crying in the basement. The hotel website reads, staff have found themselves running upstairs to escape the sound of the cries. Though the sounds are very real to those who hear them, there has been no information that has explained the phenomenon. Everybody's talking about cheese. Carol says creepy. Rochelle said, I stayed at Flagstaff once with my boyfriend. It definitely felt eerie and was very haunted near the Grand Canyon. Been to the Grand Canyon. It was a long time ago. I think I was in high school when I went to the Grand Canyon. Brandon saying I had fun times in Flagstaff. Tyrannus saying a little creepy. Delea saying a pervert ghost or Patrick Swayze. The one about that one is the bellboy that knocks on your door and says room service. That is creepy. I would want to stay there just so I can experience that. Somebody knocking on your door and going room service, and then you open it up and there's like nobody there. Oh my god. But then you would like seriously have to have a camera on all day long to catch that. I would so want to catch that on camera. Number 17, Myrtle's Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana. Rumored to be on top of a burial ground is the Myrtle's Plantation in Louisiana. I know Ghost Hunters has been here, which is the home of at least 12 different ghosts. Built in 1796, ghost stories centered around the tale of an enslaved woman named Chloe, who had her ear chopped off after she was reportedly caught eavesdropping. Seeking revenge, Chloe killed 2 of the master's daughter by poisoning a birthday cake. She was then hanged by her fellow enslaved people, and today is reportedly seen wandering the plantation with a turban on her to conceal her ear. If you want to investigate things for yourself, you could stay at the plantation for $175 a night. That's actually not that bad. That's kind of expensive, but not that bad if you think of it. Bernadette saying those spirits would just piss me off. No food, changing my channel, a baby crying. She's talking about the hotel in Flagstaff. Yeah, because I mean, I guess they were saying the employees there try to run from the baby crying, so it must be like super bad. So Matthew's saying if you go to the plantation to look out for gators. Aaron says the Cecil keeps coming back. I told you I'm obsessed with that hotel. No matter what, it pops up somewhere. Number 18, Hotel Cecil in Los Angeles, California. Or, well, it's Stay at Main. Stay on Main now, I believe is what it's called. More cursed than haunted, downtown LA's Hotel Cecil got such a bad rap that it's actually changed its name to Stay on Main. But if you go to the back of the building, you still see the Hotel Cecil sign. If you're a true crime and paranormal superfan, you've likely already heard of it. Where to begin? So many bad things have happened here. There's literally an entire Wikipedia page dedicated to its violent history. The first recorded death by S is in 1931, followed by a long stream of similar deaths in 1932, 34, 37, 38, 39, and 1940. At some point in the 30s, one man was pinned to the exterior wall by a truck. A woman murdered her newborn in the building in 1944, and the pattern of S's continued into the 60s. In 1962, a woman jumped from the 9th floor window and landed on a pedestrian, killing them both. It's worth noting that 2 of the women who died by S apparently jumped while their husbands were asleep in the room. Wow. In 64, tenant, I still learn things when I read about this hotel. It's crazy. In 1964, tenant Goldie Osgood was brutally murdered, a crime which has remained unsolved. Next, in the 80s, the infamous serial killer Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, stayed at the hotel in the 1990s. Austrian serial killer Jack Unterwedge lived there. Other weird things kept happening, but the weirdest, definitely the disappearance and death of 21-year-old traveler Elisa Lamb. A few weeks after Lamb went missing, her body was discovered in the rooftop water tank after visitors and tenants complained about a funky taste. They later found odd footage of her in the elevator from the night of her disappearance. It's difficult to make out what she's doing. It looks like she's either playing hide and seek with someone outside the elevator or she's frightened and attempting to hide from someone, but the doors won't seem to shut. Authorities ruled the death accidental drowning, but because you need a key to access the roof, many suspect foul play. Wow. Brandon, I think someone actually married him while he was in prison. Richard Ramirez. Aileen is saying, yep, the Myrtles and the Houseman house are both haunted. Aaron's like, I want to visit but not stay there. Delea wants to go to the Cecil. Zero's like, wow, I didn't know all this darkness happened. I still, every time I read an article, there's always something new that I learn about that hotel. Number 19, the Liu family mansion in Taiwan. Built in 1929 in Baroque style, the Mingzhang Ghost House, aka the Liu family mansion, is a place with a heartbreaking history. Located in the Taiwanese countryside, it's been abandoned since the 50s when the family fled abruptly. Like all mysterious places, there's plenty of lore around the family and why they left the once beautiful place. Local legend says the maid was having an affair with her employer, Lu Rong Yu, and when the secret came out, she jumped down the well to her D. But since she did not live to tell the tale, who's to say another family member didn't push her? Then she came back to haunt the family until they finally left. A few years later, it was occupied by a member of the Kuomintang Kuomintang of China, KMT, many of whom were also thought to have died by S, which exacerbated its reputation as haunted. People who visit report plenty of ghostly sightings. That is a cool place. Aaron's like, oh, Taiwan has ghost houses too? Delea saying Ramirez may be a demon? Aaron saying pretty walls? The next one is Los Feliz Murder Mansion in Los Angeles, California. During the mid 20th century, this large Los Feliz home was the seemingly happy home of Dr. Harold Perelson and his family until the horrific night of December 6th, 1959, when he murdered his wife in her sleep and with a ball peen hammer and attempted to murder his three children before drinking acid to K himself. Fortunately, his eldest daughter let out a scream when he struck her in the head, waking up the younger children, who then walked into the hallway to find out what was going on. During the commotion, they were all able to flee before the MS. He was a successful doctor who invented a new type of syringe after investing most of the money into its research and production. But he got screwed out of the rights, leading investigators to blame financial problems. Other creepy details include a passage of Dante's Divine Comedy left open on the bedside table. 2 years later, it was sold to the Enriquez family, who used it as a storage unit, and their son continued to do so until he sold it to a couple in 2016 who had plans to fix it up. But it seems to have scared them off because within a few years it's on the market again. Photographers also report a feeling of needing to run away from the house when they get close up to it. And right above the house is the House on Haunted Hill house. Delay is like Los Angeles, California has it going on. Definitely. There's a lot of haunted places here. Rochelle, thank you for listening. He was a dark soul, or so it seems, the Los Feliz man. It's a beautiful house, but no one can finish it. So it's kind of, it just like they spend a lot of money, but they just don't finish it. 21. Via de Vecchi in Italy. Via de Vecchi is foreboding, all right? Just consider that looming fog blanket. Located near Lake Como, Italy, the House of Witches dates back to 1854 to 1857 when it was built as a summer house for Count Felix de Vecchi. The family was only able to spend a few years there as their lives were mirrored in tragedy right after it was built. First, the architect died a year after construction. Then in 1862, Count de Vecchi came home to discover his wife that's murdered and his daughter missing. When he could not find her after a year of searching, he died by S. His brother then moved into the home and his family continued to live there until World War II. It's been vacant since the 60s, and an avalanche in 2002 wiped out all the houses in the area except this one. Spooky. That is spooky. And it looks run down too. Like, well, no one's been living in it since the 60s. But the fact that everything was wiped out in 2002 except for that house, that kind of tells you something. Julissa says the red paint makes it look like blood. Christy says, I've heard of this one, Crazy Bad Spirits. Number 22, the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. In 1937, millionaire inventor Norman G. Baker posed as a doctor and turned the hotel into a hospital that he said could cure cancer. Have the chills yet? Baker, who had a fetish for painted painted many sections of the hospital in the color. And today, the chimney remains the same color. In addition to wearing purple shirts and ties, he drove a purple car as well. People came from all over with hopes of curing their cancer, and many who were treated died. Eventually, Baker was exposed and run out of town, and today the property is an active hotel. It's said to be haunted by several ghosts, included a bearded man wearing Victorian clothing and a 5-year-old girl. That's cool how the chimneys are purple. I wonder if it's still purple inside, like if they kept the same because the guy was obsessed with purple. That's kind of cool. Brandon saying Prince loved purple. Tyrana saying spooky. Susan is saying looks very spooky and haunted. Aaron's like kind of odd looking. Rochelle says it seems musky, like looks like it will take souls. Bernadette saying she saw it on Sam and Colby. There are still body parts in jars. They still have, and there is a cat as the hotel manager. Actually, that is kind of cool. That is super cool. I would go there just to meet the cat. Number 23, Mizpah Hotel in Tonopah, Nevada. In 1907, the Mizpah, I'm probably like butchering the name, the Mizpah Hotel opened as one of the first luxury hotels in Nevada. With its rich history and elaborate decor, the hotel is best known for its legend of the lady in red. Thank goodness, no lady in white, no lady in gray. I'll take a lady in red. While the date remains unclear, the story goes like this. A woman was murdered in her room on the 5th floor. Some say it was a jealous ex-boyfriend, while others say the lady in red had been caught cheating by her husband and he killed her in a jealous rage. Those who've stayed at the hotel say the lady in red whispers in men's ears and leaves pearls from her broken necklaces on guests' pillows. Guests can stay in the Lady in Red suite to experience it themselves, and if that's too much for you, the Red Lady Bloody Mary at the hotel restaurant should suffice. Would any of you guys stay in the Lady in Red room? At least it's not a lady in white or a lady in gray. Susan's like, that's a luxury hotel? Maybe back in the day it probably was. Hey, it's a quaint little hotel. Come on. Brandon would stay there. Bernadette said the lady in red hates women. She was a lady of the night. Well, then you would stay in the room with the guy. And no, you didn't hear that from me. Julissa was like, nope. Delea's like, nope. Christy's like, for sure. Thank you, Heather Salvatore, for your PayPal donation. My favorite. I am surprised you are on, but so happy. Capone and Mocha love your voice. Western Massachusetts, come hike with us someday. Thank you, Heather Salvatore. You're awesome. Hearts for Heather. I'm glad. Hold on. I'm glad Mocha and Capone love my voice because I mean, I guess I got used to my voice, but when I was a kid, I didn't like it too much. Delay says she might try to steal my man. Bernadette would be, I would stay there. Hell yeah. What's up, Lady in Red? I would just see if she would actually leave pearls. That would be kind of trippy. Like if you would stay there, wake up, and then there was pearls on your pillow right next to you. Oh my god, that would be so trippy. Number 24, the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia. The Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Oh my god, try to say that 20. I think this was on my stream on Saturday. One of the West Virginia locations that I was talking about. Patients when it opened in 1864. Fast forward to the 50s, when the facility reached its peak and had more than 2,400 patients living in overcrowded and inhumane conditions, with some even kept in cages. In 1994, the asylum closed, and today there are reports of paranormal activity with souls of patients lingering and roaming the halls. You could take an overnight ghost hunt tour from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. at the asylum, a 2-hour paranormal tour from 10:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., or a 90-minute day tour. Where is this at? West Virginia? Why not? Delay is like super creepy pasta. Christy's like, oh, I got chills. Susan saying lunatic asylum. Do they still call them that? No. Bia Stone saying real pearls. That's what they're saying. Like you find pearls, but they don't say if it's real. Aaron's like, oh, let's go there. Number 25, Merchant House Museum in New York, New York. That is a very quaint looking location. Seen as it's the only preserved and intact family home from the 19th century in all of New York City, it makes sense that this house has also been the source and subject of many ghost stories. The Treadwell family lived here for over 1,000 years, 100 years, and the last family occupants was Gertrude, the youngest daughter, who died in the home in 1933. Staff, visitors, and even passerbyers say they experience weird disembodied things here. Don't buy it. Take a candlelit ghost tour of the museum to decide for yourself. And even if you don't catch an apparition out at the corner of your eye or hear children playing and floorboards in empty rooms, you'll at least get the sense that you're intruding on someone else's space in a completely different time, since it's virtually the same as when Gertrude died. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Aaron saying this one looks like a doll house. Susan saying any asylum's going to have lots of angry spirits. Christy saying I think they even pulled out the patient's teeth. Oh, I know, I've heard of that. Susan's like, I like this one. I'm a proud New Yorker. I've been there. It's scary. Bernadette says that looks like the building from the movie Batteries Not Included. Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I used to watch that movie all the time when I was a kid. I'm getting like all these little notifications. The next one, number 26. Ooh, you can book. The Queen Anne Hotel in San Francisco, California. In 1890, the Queen Anne Hotel in San Francisco was an etiquette school for girls. Today, it has 48 rooms for guests though some believe the ghost of Miss Mary Lake, the school's headmistress, still lingers. Folks who stay in room 410, Miss Mary Lake's former office, has woken up to find their blankets closely tucked around them in bed or their clothes unpacked. Huh. Well, she was an etiquette. It was at an etiquette school, so that I was thinking other things. You know how they made girls like stand up straight? So I was thinking like you would feel a tap on your back or something when you were slouching or something like that, but Bia Stone saying having all kinds of crap happening on my viewing experience. Aliens coming next. You never know. Brandon saying I had an Uber driver tell me about that hotel in San Fran while we drove by. It's beautiful from the outside for sure. Julius is like, I never knew that was a hotel. I would drive by there every day on my way to work. The exterior is very beautiful in person. I can imagine, Julissa, because just the picture, it looks beautiful. Looks very beautiful. Number 27, last but not least, the Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts. In 1892, Lizzie Borden was the main suspect for the axe murders of her father and stepmother. Borden was tried and acquitted of the murders, and guests who visit Lizzie's house in Fall River, Massachusetts say she can be heard cackling about it. Others say that you can sometimes hear a maid screaming for help and that Lizzie's slaughtered parents stalk the grounds. You can experience the paranormal activity yourself by visiting the Lizzie Borden House, which is now a museum and bed and breakfast. Would any of you guys stay there? Susan says that looks like Norman Bates' home. Gene Rick, how's it going? It kind of does. Well, that color doesn't make it look appealing, though. Bia Stone says, yep. Susan's like, Aaron's like, B&B, cool. Wendy will stay anywhere as long as I'm there. Which is cool. Bernadette saying Elizabeth Montgomery, who played Lizzie in the old movie, is related to her. Ah. You and I Care said nope. Gene Rick's like, good last break, almost done. Hopefully your day was smooth at work. Zero Ortiz is saying yes. Sabrina, I don't think the Lizzie house is haunted. Christy, absolutely, I would stay there. Susan says, looks like a slaughterhouse. I don't like the color of it. Rochelle says, I get a really bad vibe. Heather Salvatore says, Northampton State, Massachusetts Hospital, or Belchertown, Massachusetts State Hospital. Oh, hold on. Let me, since that's the last one, so you could see my face. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, just in case, because when I showed it at the beginning, we have some new people here. I did create a Grayson Report Facebook group for those that use Facebook more than Discord. Hold on here. Just search Grayson Report, and after the stream, I'll accept all your joins. And I will fix that issue so Ozzy can join as well. I'll go in there and see what thing I need to click. But if you guys like Facebook, join the Grayson Report Facebook group. Be there or be squared. I'm probably gonna post, if I post, because you know how YouTube does not notify people. You notify some people, but not everyone. So I'm going to post, like, if I have a video here, I'm going to do that on Discord as well for those of you that are on my Discord. And then also, too, if you guys have, like, a creepy story you want to share, you could post it there. Or like a creepy video if you want to share with me that you think is kind of cool, you can post it there as well. But just search Grayson Report on Facebook when you get a chance. And also, too, after the stream, because we're not getting... YouTube is not notifying you guys, Nerd Report posted a new video. So if you guys, after my stream, head over to Nerd Report and check out his video. He's saying no one got a notification. Susan saying she got notified. But I know YouTube likes to be pesky sometimes. Christy gets notified every time. That's cool. So if you guys could head over to Nerd Report after I finish my stream and check out his new video when you get a chance. Because YouTube likes to be pesky, because sometimes I don't even get Nerd Report's notifications. Be a Stone Saint, so happy I got to be here live. That's so awesome. Ozzy, I actually get your notifications, believe it or not. But I think YouTube likes to be selective and notify some people, and then they don't notify some other people. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Wendy, saying love it when I do lives. Guys, I'm going to open up for questions. If you guys have any questions, I'll probably stay on for another like 10 minutes or so. Yeah, nerd report though. I'm not brown. And there's also a video he posted on Nuke the Fridge, guys. If you want to head over there, I did get a notification for that one, actually. But that's why I kind of want you guys to go on the Facebook group or Discord. That way, you guys get notified. Even if you can't make it to the live, you could still make it to the replay. Nerd Report says I kind of am. I'm not brown. Christy, no, I haven't had a chance. I need to check it out, but I will. I'll let you know. Nerd Report saying he has breaking news up, so when I end my stream, be sure to check him out. Tyrannus saying, which of these houses would you like to go to the most? I'd probably like to, because I live in Los Angeles, I'd like to check out, if you can. I wouldn't mind going to the Los Feliz murder house. I mean, you can't go in it, but like to drive by it, that would be kind of cool. Probably do some of those Los Angeles ones. Like I've been on the outside of the Cecil. I would like to go on the outside of the Barclay because it does have like this crazy history too. So it'd be cool to see that. I probably driven by it and just didn't realize it. Bia Stone's asking, are you gonna do European ghost stories? I may check some out because I like doing Asian ones because I like the folklore with Asian ghost stories. So I've done a few of those, but I may check some European ones out too. Those are the ones I'm not familiar with. For the record, Your Honor, hello. But I would like to do some of those Los Angeles locations that they did talk about, but an asylum sounds cool. That asylum in West Virginia sounds cool. Bernadette's asking, do you think aliens can see spirits or vice versa? I don't think they can, to be honest with you. They probably don't even know what that is. They'll be like, but you never know. They may experience the same thing we have, but it's aliens haunting them instead of ghosts. It'd be alien ghosts. Nerdpert saying, I'm about to quit YouTube. For the record, Your Honor, saying Bergen Pines in New Jersey has had some scary stories. Susan saying the New York City house is interesting in the East Village. The New York one sound, because I've never been to New York, so that sounds like a lot of those places sounded interesting too as well. I don't know, something about like an abandoned prison or an asylum would be cool to go to, like on a ghost tour. Heather, whatever scene, even the movie about Lizzie seemed dreadful, but not enough to do what she did. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that she took an axe to her parents. Oh, Bergen Pines was an asylum. Oh, cool. For the record, Your Honor, and Ozzy Walks is saying we love you, Nerd Report. Crazy Ghost, Heather, whatever. Heather Salvador, thank you for your PayPal donation. Hearts for Heather Salvador. Would you be scared that you would take a spirit home with you? You know what? That comes to mind. It does come to mind a lot that well, I mean, obviously it can happen. That's kind of why I've kind of stayed kind of away from those places. But I've been on the outside of places. I've been to the S Bridge in Pasadena, which is considered haunted, but I didn't think that I brought anything home. But I feel like the bad mojo places, you can bring something home, but I would still want to go in regardless if I could bring something home or not. Because it's something. Tyrant is saying we love Nerd Report on YouTube. It's something that I've always been intrigued about, so I wouldn't shy away from it, but it does cross my mind. Rochelle saying there's traveling spirits and stay in place spirits. I know you could get an attachment and it could be very bad if you don't protect yourself or cleanse yourself. Heather, whatever, saying my online friend went to the Cecil and brought home a present. She won't go back. I've been on the outside of it, and I so wanted it because at that time it wasn't a low income housing, so you can probably actually walk in. And now I'm wishing I did to at least walk in, but I didn't. Something told me not to. Hold on. Heather Salvador, thank you again for your PayPal donation. Saying Lizzie B, her mother was a stepmother. Thank you. Hearts for Heather Salvatore. Thank you, girl. You're awesome. UNI Cares also saying Lewis don't quit. Tyrannus saying thank you for the membership. Hold on here, I can't see the memberships. Thank you, Nerd Report. I can't see on this screen because I'm using I can only see certain things. Thank you, Tyranna, for the super sticker. Hearts for Tyranna. Thank you. Sabrina's saying always have to protect yourself going in and when you're done or you're going to end up getting an attachment. For sure. Nerd Report's like the donation train. Keep it going. I should look at the chat the other way because thank you, Nerd Report, for gifting 5 memberships. I know I said thank you already, but I wanted to say thank you again. Spring Storm forbids Lewis to quit. Nerd Report saying Lisa works hard and has 2 jobs but still brings content to us. Christy Fox, thank you for the super sticker. Now I can see the super stickers. It's a corgi pushing up against the glass. So cute. Heather, whatever. Thank you. I have to do it this way. Trouble on my end with the cash up. That is fine, Heather, whatever. Hearts for Heather, whatever, and Christy. Thank you, ladies. You guys are awesome. That's okay, Heather, whatever. You're always supportive. Thank you. Nerd Report saying keep them coming. Let's get a few more. Nerd Report is going live tomorrow, guys, so keep a lookout. That's okay, Rochelle. You being in the chat is great support. I know times are hard for some people. So, guys, just keep a lookout when Nerd Report goes live, because you may or may not get the... He didn't say what time. What time, Nerd Report? Or about what time? Because YouTube sometimes does not like to notify people. Nerd Report says 3 p.m. All right, guys. So tomorrow at 3 p.m., Nerd Report is going live. So the 34 people who are here, make sure you be there at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. UNI Care says, yes, it's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Susan saying, I get all your notifications. I know some people do and some people don't. It's weird. Because I'll know some people come into my streams and are like, I didn't get notified. I didn't even know you were on. So usually what I do is I just check. He posted the link, so when I finish my stream, which I'll stay on for a few more minutes, go head over to Nerd Report and check out, give his video some love, like, comment. Heather Salvatore is saying, excited about your trip to Arizona. I get notifications. That's cool. That's cool. Susan saying 6 p.m. New York City time. Ozzy will go on over for sure. Tyrana's gonna catch it on the replay. That's fine as long, but don't forget to smash that like button too when you're over there, and on my video as well. Zero Tees was like 2 a.m. crazy loose. I was awake and I said, what the hell? I know, he posted a video. I was dead asleep, so I saw it in the morning. He did post a video about 2 in the morning, I believe, this morning. Alright, guys, click on the link that Nerd Report posted. Susan saying like your UFO. Thank you, Susan. I'm not like really big on UFOs, but I do like to talk about them every once in a while. But thank you, Susan. And I know a lot. I know a lot of people also too are like me. They're skeptical about UFOs. All right, guys, go ahead and click on the You and I Care says I check around twice a day to make sure I don't miss it. I am lucky I'm still getting the notification. That is good, You and I Care. That's super awesome. All right, guys, go ahead and click on the breaking news for Nerd Report. I am going to end my stream here. Thank you, guys. I want to thank everyone who donated today, and I'm glad you guys joined me for my haunted houses. And I will see you on the next one. Catch Nerd Report tomorrow live at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And my next one will be Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there or be squared. And guys, stay spooky and good night. And thank you for joining me.